Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're actually getting into some Master League Premier Cup Go Battle League battles. I know I'm supposed to do a part 2 to the two teams that gave me 400 points in Ultra Premier, but unfortunately some things came up yesterday. I wasn't able to put out a video, and now the Ultra Premier portion of the season has come to an end. If that team is still usable and having success in Season 5, I'll make sure I get you guys a video on it. But today we start Master League Premier, and I have my first set of Master Premier battles for you guys using the team that got me to rank 10 in both seasons 2 and 3. That team being Garchomp, Snorlax Safe Swap, Metagross in the back, Best Buddy. Let's see if I can continue to have success with it. This is the very first set of this season of Master Premier that I did for you guys. So if you're excited about that, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump into these battles. So, getting into these battles, one thing that needs to be addressed based on the team comp is there is a slight change to it. Snorlax has typically been running Outrage on this team of 3, but I've recently changed it to Superpower. I've been fiddling between Outrage, Superpower, and Skull Bash as third moves for the Snorlax. The main reason why I abandoned Outrage is because it had become very popular in previous seasons, and either they were getting shielded or I just wasn't having a reason to use Outrage. So, got the Superpower, had found success with it. I am kind of debating and thinking maybe I want to try out Skull Bash. I'm still kind of weighing my options there. You guys let me know what you think. I'm going to just keep on testing them out and see what fits best with this team comp. But either way, in this first match, we have a Garchomp on Snorlax lead here. They're going for a charge move here. I shielded the first one because I thought, honestly, since they're running Snorlax in the lead, they probably have Outrage on their Snorlax. So that was the main reason why I used a shield there. I am able to get the 2 Outrages here, and I was expecting a shield to keep the Snorlax alive. They decided not to shield. So I take out their Snorlax. I was able to overfarm a bunch, so now I can force a shield on the Dragonite here, or completely one-shot it with an Outrage. But since they have shield advantage, they're definitely going to shield this. And then I'm going to just let them Dragon Breath my Garchomp down, just so I can at least keep the Pokemon lined up the way that I want them to be lined up. Now, I bring in Snorlax here instead of Metagross, one, because I completely forgot my best buddy Metagross, because that is a constant issue that I consistently run into using my Metagross or any of my other best buddy mons while not walking them. And then also because of the fact that the Dragonite had energy, so if anything, I'm going to let Metagross close out this matchup. I'm going to let Snorlax eat all of Dragonite's energy, and I'm going to spam as many moves as I can, but I'm going to also get this Dragonite in a health range right now where Metagross can come in, close, and try and sweep the back line. So that's the plan here, that's the logic. I get the Dragonite really low. I know they're going to try and commit to a farm down, so I bring in my Metagross. If I had the best buddy, I don't know if the bullet punches actually end up doing a little bit more damage based on that, but I could have potentially taken out the Dragonite. Unfortunately, eat a Hurricane there, and then they bring in a Metagross here, and then I'm very worried about losing a CMP tie because of the fact that my Metagross isn't best buddy. But then I notice there's a shiny, it's not a Shundo, so I should be fine either way. I go for the very obvious bait, and I pull it off, get their shields, and now I just need to make sure that I outpace them to their second Meteor Mash, because I am in Meteor Mash range. So I will shield this first one, and I'm going to hope I get to the Earthquake just in time before they can get to another Meteor Mash, and I just pull it off. So this Earthquake will take out their Metagross's remaining health, the Dragonite will come back in, I will Bullet Punch it down, and my very first match of what season is this now? Season 4 Master Premier, I'm able to take it with my rank 10 team. Alright, so in between matches, I went and made Metagross my best buddy. Let's hope that that ends up benefiting me in these future matches. So, getting into the second match of the set, we're going to get a Garchomp on a Dragonite lead here. And what I typically do here is safe swap the Snorlax, and what usually happens here is the Dragonite stay in, and this is one of those situations where I really wish I had Outrage back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least try to build all the way up to an Outrage and potentially try to bait shields, unless they decide to throw the move here and dip out. They throw the Dragon Claw, they decide to stay in, and then they swap here, and I'm like, I don't really mind this that much. I can actually get the 2 superpowers, and it kind of pays off that I don't have Outrage now, because I can throw this move, land it, and do a good chunk of the Snorlax's health. So I land that superpower, I go for them back to back here. I'm not exactly in farm range. I can threaten shields after the superpower. The superpower could threaten shield also. It doesn't. It gets the Metagross in the yellow. Now I'm licking it down to the red, hoping that they would get greedy and try and bullet punch down. I just fall short of the body slam, but I'm cool with it. Snorlax is going to go down, but I can bring in Garchomp here to try and farm down the Metagross. Unfortunately, it does get to a charge move just in time, and I know my Garchomp's going to be pretty useless against a Dragonite with shields up like this. So I'm going to commit to a Mud Shot down. I'm going to build up to an Outrage here because I'm expecting that Dragonite to come in and try and farm down my Garchomp. We're just going to wait for them to wait out their switch timer. They do that. I build up to the outrage. I go for the Sand Tomb. They have to respect the outrage. It would be a very huge call on their part to not shield this. They do shield it. I do get the debuff through on the Sand Tomb, which is clutch for me. I bring in my Metagross, and I'm chunking away with bullet punches. They keep in their Dragonite here. They're not trying to clear the debuff. I'm worried about a potential Hurricane here, and so I decide the shields. Unfortunately, ends up being a bait. I get bait a lot. It's a very unfortunate situation in Master Premier playing that bait game. I feel like in Master Premier specifically, or even in Masters, the bait game just gets played the absolute most here, and that's just because these Pokemon have such high attacks, so their moves are very heavy hitting. So I built up the 2 Meteor Mashes here. This will definitely take out the Dragonite's remaining health. I was a little too scared to try and commit to a farm down depending on whatever their last Pokemon was. Their last Pokemon ends up being an Empoleon, and again, I need to try and bait, but the issue was I didn't, I guess maybe me farming the way I did was better off. It just didn't look that way considering how low my Metagross's health is. I try a last-ditch effort of getting the Garchomp in to Sand Tomb down the Empoleon, hoping that between the debuff, the damage that Garchomp can deal, that it'll be in Meteor Mash range, because the way it looks is that I won't get to an Earthquake, but it will be a very tough call. I think I might have gotten to the Earthquake just as the waterfall comes through to take me out, because I get that one, I get another Meteor Mash through, another Bullet Punch through, and then they take me out. I think I would have just fallen short of the Earthquake, and unfortunately was not able to pull out that match. So getting to this third match, when the new part of the season just starts, you're curious to see how the meta develops, and you hope that it develops around Magnezone leads when you're leading with a Garchomp. So it's a positive lead for me, fully expecting to swap in. They swap in the Dragonite, and what I did here is something I don't typically do, which is like go into Metagross. The main reason why I don't like to go into Metagross here is because depending on how the matchup gets played out, Metagross could end up very low in health, and then there could potentially still be a Togekiss in the back that if I play it the wrong way, lose switch advantage, Togekiss could line up with that Metagross. But then again, Snorlax can kind of keep Togekiss at bay, so I'm like, you know what, especially since it has superpower, even if I mess up, Snorlax's superpower can line up with a Magnezone late game and still not be the worst possible situation. So like I said, go in the Metagross here. They decide they only want to play out the one shield, and then they bring in Rhyperior to farm me up, and I'm actually pretty okay with this because both Rhyperior and Magnezone struggle very hard against my Garchomp. So I'm just going to go into Snorlax here to eat the energy that the Rhyperior built up from farming down my Metagross. And I have no intentions of using a shield on my Snorlax. This ends up being a Rock Wrecker. Kind of expecting a swap in. There's a swap. I go into Garchomp. I could have superpowered, but honestly, again, Rhyperior is just going to absolutely slaughter both of these Pokemon. So I'm going to go for a Sand Tomb. I'm not even going to really get too greedy. This will get the Magnezone. It's just like the very ideal farming range where its health is low enough and I can Mudshot enough where I don't take, I'm not taking a lot of damage from Magnezone no matter what. But I would be able to Mudshot down and pretty much be at an outrage. They recognize their situation. They understand their loss, and we're starting off our first set 2-1. Getting into this fourth match, going up against Jamie, very well-known trainer throughout the Pokemon Go PvP community, highly skilled, got a great matchup ahead, and we run into one of my team's biggest kryptonites, which is Haxorus. Haxorus is such a struggle. I actually just finally built my own Haxorus to use this season, so I can't wait to feature that on the channel. But Haxorus gives my team a hard time, this current team of Garchomp, Snorlax, Metagross, a hard time because Haxorus deals super effective Dragon Claws to Garchomp. It deals super effective counters to Snorlax. The Night Slashes could potentially give a boost there, and then it still has super effective Night Slashes for Metagross while the counters are dealing neutral damage. It is quite a very odd dragon while it's punching at you and throwing dark moves, dark slashes, night slash, dark slashes. You know what I'm trying to say there. It also has access like Surf and Earthquake, making for a crazy moveset. Luckily, I was able to play the one shield out properly and win it, but the Metagross is going to come through and bullet punch down. What I have run into is a lot of people that run the Haxorus playing out the two shields, and I much prefer them only playing out the one shield because that Haxorus can leave with quite a bit of health there. So I guess they were worried that I might have something in the back that would handle their Haxorus. So I go into my Snorlax to deal with their Metagross, and I'm gonna try and like overfarm a bit, but I want to make sure I get off one superpower. I know even debuffed that Snorlax can survive a Meteor Mash, and they have to fire off two before I get to another charge move, and that is exactly what they do. So what I'm hoping here is that I can go into Metagross and clutch endgame, and this all really depends on their last Pokemon, and they swap into a Magnezone. Speaking of that bait game that I just hate, it's that bait game that I hate game. Let me stop, those aren't bars, I'm not going far. I can't pay the bill on my car. Let me stop. Anyhow, it's a bait game, and I messed up the bait game. I went straight for the big move, hoping that, you know, the bait was so obvious that I had to throw it, and I end up letting the wild charge going through, hoping that the bait was so obvious that they would bait me, and literally everything went wrong here. Once my earthquake gets shielded, and once their wild charge gets through, this is absolutely game over. This could have gone either way. Definitely could have been a match I won if I would have played the bait game differently. I don't even want to say correctly. There's no real wrong way there. That way just clearly did not work. Getting into the 5th and final match of the set, sitting at 2-2, hoping to pull off my first positive set of Master Premier this season. Let's see what the leads are going to be up against Pokémon. So, got a Garchomp on Dragonite lead. Not the most ideal one, but we have a plan for it. We swap in the Snorlax, see how they decide to play it, try to build up to the outrage, and hope that we can at least leave this situation, this matchup, with shield advantage. That's what's key. Getting switch advantage isn't the end of the world if we can't get it, which we most likely won't, because Snorlax doesn't beat Dragonite, which is why a lot of Dragonites love to stay in here. So they built up. They're going for a second charge move here, considering that they just threw a Dragon Claw and just got to the second move so quickly. Had to be another Dragon Claw. Did not mind that. I was hoping, because I built up so much energy, that they would definitely have to shield this charge move coming through, and they decide to shield it. So that's awesome. Got shield advantage. Gonna get this body slam through also. This will put the Dragonite at around yellow, so ideally this kind of worked out the way I was hoping for. I mean, worked out as best as it could considering the moveset. Unfortunately, I do get Dragon Breath down, but my plan is now, because the Dragonite's relatively low and I have shield advantage, I can go into my Metagross and I can really just hope that they go for their big move of Hurricane or maybe Draco Meteor, because some Dragonites might still be running those, and they'll throw it while I shield so that I could then just bullet punch down the Dragonite. Unfortunately, they make the right play and Dragon Claw there because they can get to another charge move afterwards. So I shield the first one. I notice another Dragon Claw, no intention of shielding, hoping they stay in so I can bullet punch down. They do decide to stay in, but that Dragonite put in some work, took out my Snorlax, got a shield of mine, got my Metagross at half health, and then they have a Gyarados in the back. And since I don't have my Snorlax, and I'm not running Psychic on Metagross, this is not ideal either. So I'm trying to play this out in a weird way, where I throw Meteor Mash, go into Garchomp, maybe land an outrage, but they have Togekiss in the back. So this match actually goes really weirdly. So obviously when I swap in, they're going to swap in and match me. And I'm just going to town Sand-Tombing the heck out of this Togekiss. And they understand the situation we're in. They know that I'm going to Sand-Tomb as much as possible so that my Metagross can come in and just bullet punch, farm down their Togekiss. So what's going to appear to be lag is that they're stopping attacking. You can tell they're stopping on purpose just based on the way their charms went through, very like out of sync. So I'm going for another Sand-Tomb here. I'm recognizing the fact that they stopped. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You think that this is your win condition, and it probably is. I'm going to go for an outrage here, try and catch your Togekiss by surprise, and even though this match is looking very painfully obviously that I'm going to lose it, I'm going to play it as best as I can. Switch time was up, brought in Metagross, was able to still farm down the Togekiss a little bit, and I am able to get to 2 Meteor Mashes here. 2 of them. One will get the shield, the other one will get the Gyarados either to be taken out or get it super low, and I just get to that next Meteor Mash. Is the Gyarados in Meteor Mash range for me to pull out this positive set? No, it just survives with that much HP. I get another bullet punch through, but my Garchomp's just as low as the Gyarados, and my Mud Shots are double resisted, whereas their Waterfalls are neutral, and I end up losing that match, and I almost found my win condition in an extremely tough and close match. So that was my first set Master League Premier. Unfortunately went 2-3, but I did my other 4 sets on my Twitch stream with this team and my second team that I was starting to use last season for a good chunk that gave me a lot of points. And if you guys want to check out where I'm doing the rest of my battles, I try to dedicate 1 set to YouTube and I try to save the other 4 sets each day for Twitch. I stream 5 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday evening time, late afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no specific time at this point because it really depends on however my schedule goes. You can go anywhere from mid-afternoon to evening time, but hey, if you want to go check me out and see the rest of my battles there as I continue to make this rank 10 climb, please feel free to throw a follow over there. I mean, if you want to sub there, I'd appreciate that too. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. I'll be putting out as much Master Premier content as I can and Master League content. I am going to diversify, and I like to be good at all leagues, so I'm definitely going to be dipping my foot more into Masters this season. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.